Hey guys, and welcome to the Unfiltered Feedsters. I'm your co-host Nick.
And I'm your co-host Rachel.
And this is Jeff Weldon from Big Brother 17. You can find me on Twitter, Jeff Weldon21, and Instagram, JD Weldon.
Woo! Thank you for being on our show. We really appreciate it.
Yeah.
Hopefully this is the first of many to come on here. We're looking to do more interviews, with house guests. And it's really exciting just to get to sit down and talk with them. And get them, ask you guys if you have any questions for them and relay them and get some answers for you guys. So what we first wanted to dive into was the whole Vanessa and Austin having their hand in getting you evicted. And
Right.
Have you seen everything that transpired to get that to happen?
I actually haven't seen everything up to this point. I've seen a little bit, and I'm not exactly shocked, to say the least. I kind of already figured that they were scheming. The whole thing just seemed orchestrated and poorly orchestrated at that. And I just knew I was in big trouble when the whole blow up with Vanessa in the bathroom went down. I knew I was in some serious boiling water.
It was really, honestly, it was so awkward to watch because the whole, to start from the beginning, it was Shelly, Clay, Austin, and Vanessa in the cabana room. And they, from the beginning, they needed just some evidence to get you to get on the block. And she wouldn't put you up until she got that evidence. And she didn't care how it happened. She just needed it. And Austin was just ready to get you out the door. And even from earlier in the season, when you guys kind of had a rocky relationship, and you guys weren't sure if you were to work together or not, I think since then he just wanted you out because you were in the way. And so when they were in the cabana room, talking, Shelly and Clay wanted you guys out as well, but they didn't want to be the middleman, and they didn't want to be figured out that they're playing both sides of the house.
Right.
So Austin had went to James and tried to get James to throw you under the bus to him. James wouldn't give him anything. And
nice.
Yeah, James really wouldn't give him anything. James would be like, no, he never said anything, except between you and Austin having an incident near the weights or something like that. And that was about it. And then James just said, other than that, as on personal level and game level, just watch your back. And that's all he said, because that's what you have to do in the house, is watch your back. So
Right.
he twisted that whole thing and basically said, oh, Jeff's saying I need to watch my back, so I need to, get him out because he's targeting me. So that's when it all transpired, in him coming into the bathroom and calling you out, which was very poorly executed, because you could just tell that he was acting the whole thing. He was unsure of what to do, and he just looked fake about it.
I mean, I think he's mistaken Big Brother for his wrestling career. Yeah, man, you can have shitty acting with your crappy wrestling career, but dude, Big Brother, you got to sell it a little bit better. I mean, I knew that, unfortunately, it was staged, but at that point I was like, what can I do? If someone went that far to stage a fight with me, I'm already in trouble.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yep, and the fact that veto has already been played and they have to take somebody off the block for a backdoor, it's shit, what the fuck am I doing?
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, dude, just go ahead, man. It's like, hey, if you guys want me on there so bad, why can't you just be respectful to me and just say, hey, look, Jeff, we're going to put you up on the block, and,
Yeah, why do you need a reason for everything you do in the game?
Exactly. They shouldn't even have needed a reason. They should have just put me up.
Exactly.
Oh, surprise, backdoor. I don't know why they had to go through all these troubles of trying to figure out why they should backdoor me. They should have just done it.
So did you not know that James really didn't throw you under the bus?
You know what? I actually pulled him aside, and I had a conversation with them. And James and I, we have a very, very solid relationship. When we were working together in the house, James was somebody I trusted. I asked him man to man. He said no, and I trusted that. And at that point, I knew Austin was just making things up to try to justify why I need to go up as a replacement.
Yep, that was exactly what happened too.
Yep. And all week he couldn't stop talking about how to get you up on the block. What evidence does he need? Because he didn't want to do it himself. He wanted Vanessa to get the blood on her hands. And when you guys were in the bathroom and he starts throwing out there that you've been putting his name through the mud, and then he starts talking about Shelly and Clay, my favorite part is when Shelly goes what the fuck, Jeff? And I'm sitting there, I'm like, really?
Like you knew about it.
It's come on.
Oh no, I was getting attacked by multiple angles, but my main confusion with all that is, why didn't Shelly and Clay want to keep me in the game? You know, they knew that they had somebody that, you know, I was kind of team Clay and Shelly. Like, yes, I was eventually going to target Shelly to get out of the game because, let's be honest, if you guys have been watching, Shelly's the puppet master and Clay's just
For sure.
a little puppet. You know, he does nothing. He's there to look pretty and say yes, Shelly, and do whatever he's told.
To be honest, with that whole thing, Clay, I just don't feel like is ever going to try to win an HOH. He's going to wait for Shelly to do it, and then when she becomes in power, that's when he forces his agenda.
Exactly.
The hardest, and it's just so interesting to watch because it's like she knows it's happening, but it's like it still goes through. But for what, a showman's to get in the way of $500,000?
I mean, let's be honest. I don't know if there's a showman's there. They are a decade apart. I mean, Clay is a little boy in her world. I don't know how she sees anything in Clay, and nothing against Clay. He's a great guy, but I just don't see it. She's a mature woman, and Clay is like just fresh out of college, pretty much.
Well, and he has a year left.
Yeah, that's true.
To me. Like, I haven't understood it from the beginning, and I'll probably never understand it.
Yeah, I lived in the house, and I didn't understand it, so...
I was going to say, maybe being in the house, you get lonely, so they just kind of came to each other, but still, that's just kind of weird.
I mean, from the first episode, they had it edited, so it was like Clay and Shelly. They might as well have like painted a scenery background with them running through a field together to each other.
Yeah, holding hands, skipping, rainbows,
Exactly.
some flowers, yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty much how their showmance has been edited on the show.
You know what? It's pretty accurate. It's the weirdest showmance. It's like there was no development stage. It's like they looked at each other. They're like, "Hey, let's be in a showmance this season."
It's like it happened. Can we just take a second, real quick, to like how awkward was it? And maybe you can tell us when it would be Clay and Shelly, and then it would be Audrey, like hanging around. I mean, can you just feel the awkwardness in that house by that?
I mean, I hope I don't sound mean by saying this, but it was awkward when Audrey was in any room with anybody. I mean, just hands down, not just with Clay and Shelly. Yeah, she was the third wheel, and she would latch on. That's what the term we'd use for Audrey. She was a latcher. She would latch on to certain individuals, and when it wasn't Clay and Shelly, it would be the emotionally weak so that she can manipulate them and push her agenda on them and start rumors, basically.
And for like an opinion from you, like how when you're sitting there talking with her one-on-one, how difficult is it to have a conversation with her about game?
I mean, honestly, I avoided it at all costs, and I avoided her like the plague because talking game with Audrey was just listening to a bunch of rumors. It wasn't really strategic. Mm-hmm. It was just a bunch of lies. And at first, you actually believe Audrey. Audrey was somebody that I actually initially instilled a little bit of trust in, and then when she tried to backstab me by backdooring me week one, I was supposed to leave instead of Jace, and that was an eye-opener, and I never trusted her again.
Yeah, it was very... I'm trying to figure out the words for her. It's very weird, for sure. Like, watching it, it's so awkward. It's very awkward. Like, watching the other house guests interact with her, because they're scared to talk game to her because she's going to spin it around, and it could end up sending them home.
Oh, absolutely.
Jason this week.
Yeah, anything you say to Audrey can and will be used against you in the court of Big Brother.
You're not about the truth.
Yeah.
For sure.
And, what baffles me the most is Audrey is a manipulative genius. And I think that if she would have flew under the radar a little bit longer, Audrey would have played a pretty solid game in the house. Her days were numbered, and you see the meltdown of Audrey that we're looking at now.
Yep, yeah, exactly.
I was rooting for her in the beginning too, just because of her story and everything. And once Audrey the game player came out, I was like, ugh, yikes. I kind of don't like the game player of Audrey.
Right.
I mean, I just don't think those 2 days in a bed saves her anymore. She could spend a week in the have-not room, and she thinks she's still going home.
Yeah, and let's talk about that a little bit. I mean, you're missing meetings, which, I mean, how do you miss a veto meeting? I just don't get that. How do you sleep in the have-not room with the lights completely off and you're getting food? I just don't get it.
It was very disrespectful to the game, in my opinion.
They blame it on the medication that she was on, but you know what? In every year that I've watched Big Brother, it didn't matter what happened. House guests followed the rules.
Exactly.
And there was no special treatment. And I don't even think for this case there should be special treatment. If she was that bad, they should have taken her out of the game.
Yeah, no, I absolutely agree. I mean, if she was in that kind of mental state, it's almost unhealthy for her to even be there then.
Exactly.
And it worries everybody else, too. Like, that's the thing. Everybody couldn't do anything because they're all worried about her and if she's okay.
Right.
So it's kind of like game because every game they talk, it's about Audrey.
Right.
Everything is just it's taken the house and it's like hit them with an infectious virus that you can't talk about it and you can't confront it and you just got to stay away. That's exactly essentially what it is. You can't talk about it.
No, I agree with you guys on that.
Do you watch the feeds at all, like now?
I've been trying to catch up on them. I've watched a little bit of the feeds, not much. I've actually just been kind of reading the updates just because it's a little bit quicker.
Gotcha.
I've been trying to get caught up with just my Twitter alone, which has been a job in itself.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, believe me, we know.
Yeah.
We know.
Twitter grows like it is no tomorrow. It's like one person hears it and it just spreads like wildfire.
Oh, for sure. And the fans, like, I love them to death, but it's like, look, they're like, oh, yeah, of course he would ignore that question. No, I'm ignoring the question because I literally haven't gotten to it yet.
Exactly.
Or because you've answered it 75 times already.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's not like you're going to sit there and just keep answering the same one over and over again. It just gets repetitive, reductive, and got to keep moving.
Yeah.
Okay, we have another question from Liz, which is Nick's sister, and she wants to know who you were 100% loyal to.
I was 100% loyal to Johnny Mac and James.
Interesting. Very interesting choices.
Do you want to elaborate on that a little bit more?
Yeah, Johnny Mac, him and I were kind of a secret alliance. It was just kind of like a two-person alliance. We just always told each other, look, man, we're always going to have each other's back in the game, and it makes sense for us to work together because no one will see it coming. And we were just complete opposites. And at the time, I didn't know that Johnny Mac was a super fan, a Big Brother historian, which, honestly, that is terrific. I wish I was still in the house because he would still be helping me.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what? He proved to be completely loyal to me even to the time I left the house. You know, I got his vote to stay in the house, and you know, Johnny Mac's just a great guy. He's just very genuine. He's one of those people when you meet him, you know he is. James, same kind of guy. He just has a very genuine spirit, and he's one of those people. He when he says something, he follows through with it. And when I saw that happen, I knew that I had to side with him.
Right.
Other than that, you know, everyone that I put trust in, like Clay, I started going to the DR room and started talking about, you know what? I have a bad gut feeling that Clay is going to backstab me, and obviously he did, which I don't think it was so much him. I think it was Shelly in his ear, but it really, really upsets me that they had a hand in me leaving.
Yeah, I definitely have to say you have to give a little bit more credit to Clay because as much as Shelly starts to figure some stuff out, Clay is actually a lot of the times behind the scene formulating everything, and Shelly doesn't know until later. And the whole literally, if you like go back and watch, like she's been saying, "You guys are leaving me out of things. I need to know. You got to tell me." And he was already making the game moves.
Right.
But he can't. But when it came to her HOHs, he wasn't able to fully go through with them because he needed her okay, and she wasn't doing anything that made her uncomfortable. And that, in a sense, where she controlled it.
That's true.
The one thing I will say for Shelly, after y'all had that long talk in the cabana room, they went upstairs and talked to Vanessa. I do believe this is when it happened, and she was saying how like she wasn't really saying I want to keep Jeff, but she was saying like, are we doing the right thing? You know, she was starting to second guess herself more than Clay was second guessing himself. I
Interesting.
would say that for sure.
I do think, honestly, I think she does get a gut feeling of what's right and what's wrong in the game. And it took her a little while to figure out Audrey's situation, even though she kind of knew it was wrong the whole time. But I think she's going to be interesting to watch. Like if she doesn't get evicted, to see how her game plays, because this week, supposedly, if everything goes as planned, I think Austin is the next target.
Yeah, perfect.
Just
Yeah, I'm sure you love to hear that.
Rachel, just give him a real quick synopsis of what just happened last night.
Did you watch the feeds last night by any chance?
No, I did not. So what
You
happened?
haven't heard. Austin spilled the beans about the twins to Jason.
He sold them out.
So Jason, he basically told Jason, like, I want you to keep Liz and me in the game so we can make it to jury, and then after jury you can target Julia, and I just want you to keep like Liz in the game because Austin wants Liz to himself.
Dude, how big of a creep are you, man? She doesn't want to be stuck in the jury house with you. She wants to go home and actually pick who she can hang out with. She doesn't want to be hanging out with your creepy ass.
Even if she does make it to jury for her sake, I hope they get Austin out.
Yeah, jeez. Like, I hope for Liz's sake. She's such a sweet and cool girl, and I would hate to subject her to that. You know, no offense to you, Austin, but jeez, man.
Yeah, it's very, very awkward. And in fact, I had his girlfriend's sister reach out to us on Twitter and say that going into the house, his girlfriend wanted to break up with him. And he was like, look, I'm doing this for you. Like, I want to be able to come home to you after this is over or whatever. And so they ended up staying together. And then just the past couple days, Austin's been telling people in the house, look, I kind of somewhat lied about having a girlfriend. Like, we kind of broke things off right before the show started. So I'm not really sure. Like, now he's trying to spin it because because Liz said she doesn't want to look like a homewrecker. So,
Right, yeah, because Liz, she's a classy girl. I can see her saying that. That's hilarious that Austin's trying to backpedal now. No, Austin, you had a girlfriend, and you pretty much broke up with her on live feeds. That's what it sounds like. And, I mean, geez, I just don't have any words for his
as
actions.
a live feed watcher, I literally got sick yesterday watching them because it was so disgusting knowing he's cheating on his girlfriend, and he's doing this in front of everyone, in front of national television. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah, what's more embarrassing than your significant other cheating on you on a live TV show? That's a big
It's
slap
very
in the face.
For
But
sure.
one thing, what are your guys' thoughts on Liz's, just her body reactions to Austin's advances? I mean, haven't you guys seen just how almost standoffish she is? And I saw a couple of things on just some updates on conversations where she was talking about a movie where I can't remember who it was. It was what was it, a Hitchcock movie or something where he's obsessed with the blonde. And he's like, weird, really? Weird? Really weird? She was like, yeah, he was creepishly obsessed with the blonde, and it was really off-putting. And she's basically saying, Austin, this is you. This movie is talking about me and you.
That's great. I actually didn't watch that because I literally cannot stomach to listen to them
Oh
talk.
my gosh! Look on my just look on my Twitter page. I retweeted it on there. You guys have to watch it. It's probably the most
I will
hilarious
for
thing
sure
ever.
Oh,
do that.
definitely.
That is so funny.
For me, when it came down to watching Liz between say you and Austin, for her it was kind of a very standoff situation because she did it was she didn't know what to do.
Right.
Even now that you're gone, and she's still to me, I still get that vibe from her that she's she's kind of staying with him maybe for protection in a sense, but doesn't want to pursue anything further.
Well, I could shed some light for you guys just based on a conversation that I had with Liz. So with Liz, what it comes down to is I would always throw Austin under the bus. I'd say, Liz, we both know Austin's a creep. We both know that you're not into him. And she's like, yeah, well, I'm like, why do you even hang around him? I'm like, why? When you have somebody like me, I was truly trying to help her in the game. When you have somebody like me that's got your back, why would you even need Austin? And she's like, Jeff, to be honest with you, I just verbatim what she said. I feel like I'm in too deep with Austin, and now I can't turn my back.
Yep.
So she's basically saying that if she cut ties with Austin, she's going to be shooting herself in the foot because he's going to go psycho. Like, he's going to go psycho.
To be honest, I've told Rachel this many times. I do feel like when they get out of the house, he's going to try to pursue a wrestling career and have Julia and Liz as the side girl wrestlers.
Actually, I got something different for you. So he told Jackie that he wanted her to be a vampire so they can have a vampire skit.
Well, why does this sound like a bad Undertaker scene going, no? It's just no.
Yeah.
Why?
It's just weird.
That's
Yeah,
so
I
bad.
remember whenever, like, when that whole thing happened, and he was, like, joking, fighting. Ugh, creepy. It was so...
Yeah, some things just get real creepy. We can't, like, when they're on the feeds, like, we literally won't watch them. We'll just, like, okay, next. And because of the whole Audrey things that's going down right now in the house, it's literally been Liz and Austin, or Julia and Austin.
Right.
On the feeds. And it's just like...
Another thing I want to, like, I feel like the whole difference between Liz and Julia. With you.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. That's one of the reasons why I started that they were twins. Liz was very flirtatious. She was very outgoing. She was funny. And Julia, who was standoffish.
Hold on one second. Nick, can you put in headphones?
Is it me?
Yes, it's
Yes,
you.
I will. Yeah, it's probably me. All right. You guys continue talking. I'm going to mute myself real quick, and I'm going to grab my headphones.
Yeah, no worries.
All right. So now continue talking about the twins. Sorry about that.
Yeah, no worries. So basically, Liz and I had great chemistry. We were always flirting. We were like always like kind of like touching each other and passing. She'd like hit my butt when I'd walk by. Like it was just like cute, like just flirting in the house. But then as soon as Julia came in, it's like she didn't even know who I was, which I was like, okay, clearly there's twins because this girl acts like she doesn't even know me and the other one wants to flirt with me all day.
Yeah, Jason said the same thing. Like, whenever he would tell people, he was saying the exact same thing. Like, Julia would not even speak a word to him, and Liz would, like, have long conversations with him.
Right.
But I was telling Nick about that. I think Julia was, like, more standoffish because she was scared of being caught, so she just didn't say anything at all.
Yeah, this is the way we looked at it. We're like, oh, Liz is the game player, Julia's the placeholder. She's just there to sit around, look pretty, and wait until Liz comes back to play Big Brother.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was.
Yeah.
Hi, Nick.
All right, let's move on to our next one.
Sure.
All right. Would you have changed anything with Jackie in the game as far as in, like, maybe, I don't know, what before you guys came into the game, if you both knew you were coming in together, like, do you wish you guys could have had, like, a solid alliance, even though it was a hard situation?
No, I think that the strategy I used coming in was to distance myself from Jackie, and I wouldn't change that. However, one thing that I wish that I would have reiterated to Jackie and made very clear was I was obviously playing a pretty strong social game, and I was building an alliance. She should have been working the opposite side of the house for my benefit in case shit hit the fan like it did. People would have had my back a little bit more, and Jackie would have had some people on my side. She didn't really do much of anything for the first couple of weeks while in the Big Brother house.
Right.
So in a sense, like it should have been you two, one working one side of the house, the other working the other, and then say late night meet up. Exactly. And I think honestly, if that would have worked, I feel like if that would have been more of a plan set in motion and more of a thing to happen, I do feel like that would have actually worked very well, even though they already suspected you two were working together, which I do think it's really fucked up for CBS to introduce you guys as a takeover twist into the game, because that's it's a red fucking flag that you're a target.
Yeah, no, I came in there with a huge target, man. Like I almost got out of there the first week because they're like, okay, here's this guy. He's a bigger dude. He obviously was on The Amazing Race. Now he has somebody here that he's played with before. It's like just it's almost like, hey, let's invite him in so he could just leave this week.
Exactly. Just take a house tour and get out the door.
I told Nick earlier, I said what they should have done is brought y'all in like normal house guests and let the house or let the other people figure out that y'all were on the Amazing Race.
Yeah, I agree completely, which would have worked out in our benefit because the only person that knew in the house that we were on Amazing Race was Steve, and he never wanted to talk about it. He might have kept his mouth shut about it.
I completely agree.
I think so too because he's afraid.
Yeah.
I think he's afraid to step on people's toes.
No, he definitely is.
I just want to like also say you did a really good job like giving him talks and like telling him what he should work on. Like you did do a really good job of that. A lot of people are kind of afraid, but you were one of the ones that did step up and say, "Look, this is what you should work on."
Yeah, and you know what? That was genuine. It was genuine, but it was also strategic at the same point. I knew that a lot of people in the house dismiss Steve, and they just say, "Oh, this is just Steve being Steve." But I was like, you know what? Why can't I take it upon myself to actually help him when it comes to how he communicates with other people and try to get him to stop being so socially awkward so that not only could he play the game better, but when he goes back to his real life, it might actually have some benefit.
Yeah.
And like Rachel said, I agree saying that you were really the only one that stepped up. I mean, now some house guests do ask questions here and there, and he has to explain himself, but then he's like, looks like he's conscious about it. Like, now they're noticing this, and this, and this, which is really terrible for him.
Yeah,
it really is.
I kind of felt bad, and it's kind of weird. I didn't grow a soft spot for Steve. Obviously, you guys saw me playing pranks on him, kind of making fun of him a little bit, give him a hard time. It was all good fun, but I started to realize, you know what? I don't want him to feel like I'm bullying him. I don't want him to feel like I'm hurting his feelings. So exactly. I would sit down and actually have genuine conversations with him to get him on my side and to let him know, hey, there's some real people in here that'll talk to you about just life. And I think that's why I got him on my side. He voted for me to stay.
Yep, exactly. Glad he did.
Speaking of that, Liz and Steve voting for you.
Yeah, now, what were your thoughts on that? Like, were you surprised or not?
You know what, even though I worked both of them very hard, I was a little bit surprised. The only reason why is I knew that Liz was terrified of Austin, and I knew that Austin was one of the main reasons why I was leaving, so I didn't think she would want to betray that because I was already out the door. Steve, he just goes with the house, and at that point in time, I wasn't too sure which way the house was swaying. I thought I did a pretty good job campaigning, but I asked Steve what he thought the House vote was, and he thought it was for me to get evicted and James to stay, so I thought that he was just going to go ahead and do what the House is doing and vote to evict me.
Yeah, whenever we were watching that episode, Nick and I FaceTime during every live eviction, and I looked at him and I was like, did these people just, like, say the wrong name? Like, what's happening here? Because we had absolutely no idea from watching the feeds that this was going to happen. This was strictly like a shock to everyone.
Yep.
For sure.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure people are thinking, oh shit, can Jeff actually pull this one out? Can he actually...
I was sitting there, I looked at Rachel, I'm like, oh fuck. What's happening? I'm like, what's going on here?
Yeah, I mean, dude, if I would have pulled an upset on that would have been amazing. And I think that the people in power that were behind it really didn't want that to happen because it would have screwed their game up so bad.
Oh, completely. It would have been blown out of the water. Completely.
Okay, we have a question.
Because think about it. Clay, Shelley, Austin, they would have all been targets to me now, so that would have not been good.
Yep.
And Vanessa.
So basically, the whole Sixth Sense Alliance would all be my enemies, and I would have made it very well known. They didn't need me. Trust me, they didn't need me causing mayhem. That's why they got rid of me.
Yeah. Believe me, Austin's doing enough of work. Austin's blowing it up enough. Don't worry.
Okay, we have a question from Instagram from a dude. I'm not sure how to pronounce his name, so I'm just going to spell it. BGEROLD. He asked, aside from Jackie, who would you like to win Big Brother 17?
Johnny Mac.
Nice.
Johnny Mac or James. We'll just throw two out there.
Yeah, which kind of makes sense from who you were aligned in the house. It makes sense.
We're gonna throw another one out from Twitter. iGarcia2845. Who do you believe has the best chance to win versus like who do you want to win? Like, is there somebody that you see that besides the people you want to win?
Yeah, unfortunately, with the way things are looking right now, I think that Shelly has a decent shot at winning the game. And obviously, I would rather see somebody like Johnny Mac or James, who are actually truly genuine in the game, win it.
Yeah.
Right. That's a pretty good answer. Let's see what else we have here. Who do you think's playing the best and worst game in the house?
You know what? I think that the best game would be. This is a tough one. I actually don't really like any of their games, but I'm going to have to say that Shelly's probably, once again, playing the best game that I see. I think she's doing a pretty decent job. She's proven that she can do competitions pretty well. And, you know, she's not afraid to be emotionless in the game. I mean, she doesn't really, like, for me, I gave her a great performance on Why to Keep Me, and she still axed me out of there. So she doesn't play with emotion, so I think she's doing an awesome job. The worst gameplay is obviously Austin. He's all over the place. He goes off on weird tangents, and he's just Austin. That's all.
Yeah, that explains it well.
I call him, and I'm not, like, people who are watching, I'm not throwing shade or anything. I literally call him the big workout ogre. And for some reason, I say to Rachel all the time, I just don't understand how somebody can work out 24/7. It's not like you're like 4 foot tall and you're working out. You're like 8 feet tall and you're noticeable working out all the time.
No, dude, that's all he does all day is work out, and he screams at the beefcakes.
And I don't understand that either. Like, that pisses me off. Like, that, I feel like he says, oh, they like me. They know I'm playing. I'm like, no, like, that's disrespectful as fuck.
Yeah. No, the beefcakes don't like you at all, bro.
Yeah, I don't think anyone does. Even Liz. I don't even think Liz likes him at this point.
Yeah, exactly.
It's kind of sad, but he kind of brought it upon himself, honestly.
Yeah, it's kind of like, it reminds me of that Mariah Carey song, Why You So Obsessed With Me.
The fact that I just, like, imagined him, like, in black and white with, like, an axe walking.
Yeah,
we're
terrible.
That's the best part. Like, could you imagine him saying that?
Yeah, we need to somehow get Big Brother to pump that in the house when we do, like,
Yeah.
HOH lockdowns.
For
That
sure,
would be
that is
freaking
funny.
amazing.
We have another
Alright,
question from Instagram, actually. I want to ask this.
Yep,
The same guy said before. He wants to know, if you won HOH, who would you nominate?
If I won HOH, I would 100% nominate Austin.
Really? Not Clay and Shelly?
No, Clay and Shelly, I could do that later on. I mean, obviously, I would do Austin and Vanessa. That would just be my nominations.
Right.
But yeah, no, it would be Austin and Vanessa for sure. Just because I feel like they had a bigger hand in why I left than Clay and Shelly. And I think that Clay and Shelly would have been terrified if I got rid of one of them. But yeah, Austin and Vanessa on the block would have been great.
Now, would you say you would have the balls to put them up together and not try to backdoor somebody?
You know what? For Clay and Shelly, I would want to collaborate with an HOH and put Clay on one side, Shelly on the other, and then do like Austin and Vanessa. So, boom, someone's going home from that group.
Nice.
Yeah, for sure. That's what I hope happens this week. Praying that someone like Meg or James or Jason win HOH and change some shit up in the house.
We need a power shift so bad.
I know, we really do, man. I'm tired of seeing the Sixth Sense alliance. It just needs to get broken up.
Seriously.
80 people working together.
Well, Audrey outed them, so she told James and Jackie. Granted, a lot of people don't believe it because it come from Audrey, but James was the one that's like, there's always a little bit of truth under every lie, because you can't 100% lie all the time.
Oh no, we always said that Audrey's rumors would always be based on a little bit of truth. Like, there is truth in some of the rumors that she spreads, or most of them. So you can't just brush it off. You know that most of it, 90% of it, is her blowing smoke. But there's a reason why that rumor was started. Audrey's smart. It's what we call Audrey just planting seeds.
That's exactly what it is. She's waiting for her garden to grow.
While we're on the subject of Audrey, are you surprised that she's not America's player?
You know what? Not really, because I thought that it could have been Steve a little bit more, just because of how awkward he was around the house.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
That's interesting, actually.
it's funny to watch everyone's like America player this, America's player that, and there's no America's player. That's the
Right.
funniest part. That is
And one last question about Audrey. We're not going to bring her up anymore. We promise. You had enough. This one actually came from Rachel. Rachel, I'm giving you credit for this one. What did you think when Audrey pulled you upstairs to the HOH room that night, like dead early in the morning, when she told you that, oh, if you don't come upstairs, you're going to be backdoored?
Yeah, so basically I'm like, okay, what's going on? So I go upstairs, and I see people up, and they're like sitting just waiting for me. And boom, as soon as I sit down, I start getting drilled with questions that just makes no sense. Like, oh, did you stage a fight? This, that, the other. And I'm thinking, what is Audrey doing? This makes no sense. And so basically I just started saying no and just started shutting everything she was saying to me down. And I think she just kind of went in oh shit mode, because she was trying to get me to self-incriminate myself so that they could probably backdoor me, when I was just a little bit stronger than what she was trying to throw at me. She reverted to plan B, which was Vanessa is America's player. She's crazy. She's the one causing all the rumors. And at that point, she just started talking in circles, and I knew that Audrey was actually the culprit, and I knew that I could never trust her again.
Yeah, that was one of my favorite moments on the feeds, was when all that happened. You and Jason go downstairs, and y'all both look at each other, and y'all know instantly that y'all are both thinking the exact same thing. That was one of my favorite moments on the feeds, by far.
Oh, yeah, definitely. One of the sad things, I don't bring up Jason enough, and I don't think he gave me too much credit in the game, but I feel if Jason and I would have collaborated a little bit more, I think him and I would have worked really well together.
Yeah, I think so for sure. Yeah, Jason's definitely one of our favorites to win the game.
Yeah, definitely.
We just, as a super fan, he knows the game. Like, he knows it really well. And Johnny Mac, like, I forget sometimes that he actually is a super fan.
Right.
Because he, like, doesn't ever talk about it at all. Like,
And
when you ask him about previous seasons, he, like, I don't know what it is.
Yeah, I think it's a part of his strategy, though, for whatever reason.
Oh, he said going in that it was.
Right.
He wanted
He just
to
wanted
hide
to talk
being
about
a super
teeth.
fan. Yeah, his obsession with teeth.
Yeah, and how like I don't know. Look, Rachel and I had talked about this before. Like, I feel like there's like a lot of connections this season. Like, how like weird is it that there's a dentist this season, and then there's like a dentist have not room, and then it's just like
was this this is the Johnny Mac room. What the hell's going on here?
It was
like we had talked.
very strange.
Not
It
only
was.
that, but I have a twin. Obviously, Liz and Julie are twins,
Thank
and then
you.
Shelly has a twin. What's up with that?
It
Yeah.
was, and
It's so weird. And then Jace, like, the whole season 5 thing is really strange, because you have the 2 sets of twins that aren't in the game, and then you have the 1 set of twins that's secretly playing, and then you have a Jace. Like, Jason kept saying that he was like, put me and Steve here to figure this out.
No, exactly. They said these were little Easter eggs, and that's why the twin thing just got unraveled like it did, because Devon and Jason obviously talked about it quite a bit, and they brought me into it, and I didn't even question it. When they brought me into the conversation, I was like, you know what? I knew something was off with them. I'd never really thought to even say anything about it, but as soon as they brought it up, I was in complete agreement.
Oh yeah, that was another one of the best nights in the house too, was watching that whole thing unravel. And then whenever you went upstairs and told Shelly and Clay, and then they come running downstairs, I'm like, crap, Jeff's game's about to get blown up that he's telling them this. And then they're like acting all shocked. I'm like, okay, at least his game didn't get blew up. Like, I felt like that was really gonna happen.
Oh yeah, for sure.
For sure.
all right. So
you can go ahead.
besides, oh yeah, I'll go. Besides missing your family in the house, what was something that you really missed? Like, it could be like just TV, food, because I'm fat as shit. Mine would be food. So, like, what would be what was your thing that you missed the most?
Well, it definitely wasn't food. I mean, people were hating on me because I was like cruising around the house with a bag of chips in my hand and just eating like I was obese. But no, the thing that I miss the most is music's a big part of my life. I listen to music literally all day while I'm doing everything. And so just not having music just to kind of calm me down when I was stressed out or while I was trying to work out in the house, I really missed music.
Well,
Does it
I
really?
will say this. With you saying you missed music, it's kind of interesting because you didn't get buzzed for singing a lot, which
No,
is really surprising.
no, because I am a terrible singer.
They go, that's far enough. Don't worry about it. We'll just
Yeah.
let him sing.
Yeah.
That's great. That is really funny. You did get buzzed for your mic, though, a lot, didn't you?
Yeah, I had an issue. They would never leave me alone about it. Like I couldn't like leave the mic in the bathroom while I'm getting changed without them buzzing me about it. And I was pretty bad and careless at the mic.
So now here's a question.
Like, a hard thing
Oh no,
to
you go.
adjust? Was that a hard thing to adjust to, coming home?
Yeah, a little bit. Like I feel like I want to use like my cell phone and pretend like it's a transmitter and just put it in my pocket and sleep with it.
Oh yeah, that's so funny.
That was literally my question. That was literally, like when you have like your phone plugged in. Is it just like you feel like you gotta just be like, all right, my mic is on.
Yeah,
Right down.
just put one of my headphones in there and just pretend.
Is it weird not getting like Jeff, stop that? Is it weird not hearing that anymore?
Yeah, it actually is. I'm trying to think, oh, you know what? One of the ones that I got, and I don't think that it's ever been said on Big Brother, was I was doing some like horse playing with clay in the house, and I broke something in there, and literally over the loudspeaker, they go, Jeff, this is why we cannot have nice things. I was like, oh!
Yeah, it's so funny.
Oh my god. I
Yeah,
feel like that's...
Last year was my first year watching feeds, and when I heard some of the things that they say, I literally like freaked out. I was like, I did not know that they did this stuff.
Right.
It's so funny, especially when you get later in the season. They just start fucking with you.
Oh, for sure.
Like last year with Frankie, he came out of the bathroom and was about to go back to bed, and they were like, did you wash your hands? It was so funny. I wish they would have done that to someone this season.
Which he probably didn't wash his hands.
No, he didn't. He was leaving the bathroom straight to bed, and they're like, did you wash your hands?
Oh.
Great. Everybody was like, oh, they got you.
That's funny.
Nick, do you want to go with another question?
Yes. Since you were on The Amazing Race and now Big Brother, what's do you find similarities between them or differences?
No, just differences. There's really no similarities besides the fact that you get to compete against a bunch of people you don't know, but it's like comparing apples to oranges. Amazing Race is a much easier game. I think that Big Brother, I honestly think the prize should be more than $500,000 because there's a lot more that goes into it, and it's definitely a very difficult and complex game, Big Brother is. I feel like Amazing Race is a lot easier. If you want to win $500,000 and do it easy, go on Amazing Race. But I think Big Brother is a lot more fun to play.
I think so as well, and I always thought to myself, and my mom and I would discuss it, that I feel like it's Rachel, it's Survivor that you get $1 million, right?
Yes, Survivor is.
I feel like those Big Brother and Survivor should be swapped.
Right.
I felt like that. And do you
honestly, I watch Survivor. You don't watch Survivor a whole lot.
Yeah, I really don't.
Like Survivor and Big Brother both should be $1 million because they're both equally as difficult in their own separate ways.
I also do feel like Big Brother mentally fucks you up. If you're in that house so long, I kind of feel like I said to Rachel, it reminds me of the Hunger Games. Once you're brought into the competitions and you're taken out, even if you're the winner, it's like you're on a victory tour. It doesn't matter. Your life is just going to revolve around Big Brother unless you completely shut it out.
Yeah, no, I mean, I could see that. And it does, it messes with you a little bit, but, it's you'll snap back into it and you'll acclimate back to, regular life. But granted, I was only in there for 30 days.
Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's the best part, or the craziest part, I should say. I do want to throw this out there. Our first Twitter question that we got after we said we were going to be interviewing you was from Bay Bell Amy, and they want to know, would you rather date Liz, Jackie, or Meg?
Oh my God, Liz all the way. Yeah, no.
I feel like that was pretty easy.
Yeah, that was a simple question.
I honestly didn't think that it would be that easy. Like, I thought maybe you would think about Jackie, maybe even Meg. I'm not sure. Was your thing with Meg, what was that?
I don't even know what it was. It started off as just like innocent flirting, and then like I started like the thing about Meg is I don't think they depict her on the actual show as well as she is like when you're living with her in the house. She has a really great personality, and she just has a really warm spirit and just a really good aura about her. She's just somebody that you can laugh with and just like have a good time with. So I think that if you could, I don't know, she just, other than that, I think like she was just kind of friend zoned at that point. I just like had more friend feelings towards her, where Liz I was like kind of, you know, crushing on pretty hard.
Right. Yeah, I think Meg's definitely one of the funnier house guests. Like, I love to just like listen to her talk because she finds the dumbest things funny. And when she
Right.
starts laughing, you literally can't help but laugh.
Exactly.
It's great. And then you can hear her laugh throughout the whole entire house.
Oh yeah, she's loud.
She's loud.
Well, she's from, or she lives in New York, so she has to be loud to be heard.
Now, when we're taking it to game, like, say, when we're talking about competitions, what was your favorite comp to play?
Ah, jeez. Honestly, I would say, and I'm sure you guys know because I only competed in 2, remember? Or no, yeah, 2.
No.
Was it really?
Yeah, I didn't really get that much competition time, guys. I really didn't.
Well, thank
didn't
God we have a
think that.
second part to this question. Our second part is, what comp did you want to compete in? See, we have backups.
I would say the one I wanted to compete in was Nova Scotia, where they did the spelling. I love spelling. I'm like a spelling bee nerd. That would have been just my cup of tea right there.
Did you have a word picked out that you were going to spell?
You know what? If I would have thought of one, like, you know, I'd probably do something like contagious or something like that. So
That's pretty cool. Were you freaked out by the whole trombonist word like everyone else was?
not really, because I see Steve and he's like, oh, he's like, my word is my favorite type of people. And I'm like, oh gosh, what is this, Steve?
Yeah, your favorite type of people. That's very strange. That is for sure very strange.
Oh God, you gotta love Steve and his awkward moments.
Yeah,
They're
he's
my
great.
favorite.
Did you guys see him hosting that last challenge? How great he was! He sounded confident. That scientist.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It was right up his alley.
No, and he sounded so confident. Like everyone was tweeting, that's the most confident we've heard Steve talk ever in the Big Brother house.
which makes me think, is he playing up the awkwardness? I kind of
You
feel
know
like
what?
he's playing it.
Might be.
I've thought that from the beginning. Once I saw how awkward he was around other people, I'm like, there's no way that someone can be this physically awkward around regular people.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm not even going to say that. That was going to be rude. I was going to say, what were you, like homeschooled your whole life? But
Well, I mean, he did go to school, but I do believe that you can be outside enough to where you just get awkward around people. But I definitely do think his strategy is to play it up, because he's
Right.
always like, am I doing something wrong? You know, like all this stuff, and he always asks questions. It's just, I feel like he's playing a little bit.
he kind of is. I mean, we said that there's 3 Steves. You got Steve, you got Stevie, and then you got Stefan.
Yup.
And I think Clay regrets creating Stefan.
We all regret creating Stefan. Stefan would try to be one of the guys to like take like, you know, we would joke around with some of the girls in the house and say stuff, but I remember one time Steve told Meg that she's cute but not pretty. She actually kind of got her feelings hurt.
Yeah, she talked about that a lot, which we didn't actually see that happen. We
Right.
just heard y'all talking about it. It was, I don't know. I think now he's kind of getting more bold, but he's still
Of
playing
course,
the
yeah.
awkward social kid.
Yeah.
It's very strange.
Now, another thing I want to bring up real quick. We wanted to do like as we just start again, like towards the end of this, we wanted to do like run through each person and like you say describe them in one word. So like we bring up each house guest. So we'll start off Audrey.
Emotional.
We'll take it. Austin.
Crazy. Oh no, jealous. Jealous.
Oh, that's good. That's very good.
Becky.
I thought maybe dumbass would come to mind with Austin. But that's just my opinion.
Yeah, no, that's very suiting actually, but yeah, jealous though for sure. Becky would be reserved.
That's understandable.
How about Clay?
Clay. I would say Clay is. Let's think here. Metro.
Metro. All right, well, moving on. Mama Day.
Mama Day. Mama Day is loud.
That she is.
Yes, she is. Jace.
Now, remember when we were saying dumbass earlier?
I'm done.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
That was great.
Jace is goofy.
My word to think of him is shrine. That's my one word when I think of Jace.
Yeah, shrine. Which
Jack.
would
No, keep going.
which the shrine we had a lot of jokes because we found a small Tupperware with a sampling of something in there that smelled like something that we shouldn't even be discussing. Discussing. It was disgusting. We came up with a conclusion that it was a drop of pancake batter that just happened to smell like something else.
Like semen. We're unfiltered. I'll just put that out.
Yeah. So just go ahead and throw it out
We're
there.
unfiltered. You can
So
say it.
we were wondering
Boys and
why.
girls, it's called sex.
Yeah. So we're like, why did he leave this behind with the shrine?
Yeah, pretty much,
Very
right?
weird.
Jackie is ditzy.
Ditzy. James.
James is. Ooh, you know what? James is. This is good. I'm trying to think on the top of my head, guys. This is a
You're
good
doing
one.
good. You're doing good.
You're doing good.
I would say that James is. How would I? I can't sum it up in one word, but someone that is loyal. James is loyal.
Trustworthy.
Trustworthy. There we go.
That came to my mind.
I would use prankster, which he's really dying in the house right now without you.
Oh yeah, of course. I
With
mean,
pranks.
I'm literally the brain of the pranks, which I never got to conduct my saran wrap Austin to the dental chair prank because that's what I really wanted to do. But
I mean, let's be honest. That's why you got evicted.
yeah, I
Hands
would have
down,
literally,
hands down.
yeah.
So, what would you say about yourself?
We forgot Johnny Mac. His is quirky.
Oh, he's coming. We're just going through the
he's
whole
coming.
house now.
Oh,
We're
okay.
going through the whole hat.
Myself, I would say comical.
That's good.
Johnny Mac.
Johnny Mac's quirky.
Liz.
Liz is just sexy.
What about Jason?
Oh yeah, Jason.
Jason's obnoxious. Sorry, Jason, you are, but
Hey, you took a lot of his cigarettes. You have to give him credit.
I was chain smoking like a crazy person because of my stress levels were through the roof.
Oh, yeah, I don't blame you at all. I'm
And-
sure
oh,
don't even
And you guys know I don't smoke in my real life, right?
Really? I actually
I do not smoke cigarettes.
At one point
Interesting.
on the when Rachel was live tweeting, she's like, Jeff lungs are blacker than Audrey Soul.
Yes, I did say that.
It was funny. It was meant to be funny.
Yeah.
Could you say, like, would you be able to come up with a word with Julia when you'd be able to tell them apart?
Yeah, Julia is. What would be a word for just somebody that's just blah?
Blah, honestly.
Yeah, blah.
I mean, but
Yeah.
in her defense, we don't really know her as a person because she was trying to play Liz, so she was trying to keep her story straight, so she didn't want to say a lot. So I feel like that's kind of why she was so blah.
Yeah, I mean that's really the best word for her.
If she does wind up coming in, I hope she spreads her wings and we see a little bit more about her. If not, then it is what it is.
Yeah.
We shall see. They
We
are
shall see.
pretty, I will say that.
Yeah. Next up, Meg.
Meg is refreshing.
refreshing.
Interesting.
Shelly.
Shelly is intense.
I would say a
Steve?
cougar, but we'll leave it.
Wait, we'll come back to that. What about Steve?
Is the next person.
Steve is awkward.
Hashtag awkward.
Yeah, hashtag awkward.
And Vanessa.
Vanessa is crazy. I mean, really. I'm going to have to give her the crazy one because she
Okay, on the subject of Vanessa, because I'm really interested to know. I know that she told y'all she was a former poker player or whatever she said, but
Right.
did she tell y'all how much she really makes?
No, absolutely not. I think that would have been terrible for her game. You know, I think that the reason why I think Vanessa's crazy is because maybe she's just deep down brilliant. I mean, she went to Duke University. She's made $5 million playing poker. So, you know, sometimes there's a fine line between insanity and brilliant.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
On the subject of poker, because I'm also interested to know this. Did you know Mama Day was a poker dealer?
I actually did not, but we knew she was lying about being a teacher because she thought that DARE programs didn't exist anymore. And we're like, what?
What? DARE programs? Oh.
Yeah, you know, like the anti-drug programs for kids.
Yeah.
Right, yeah. Gotcha. Interesting. I know Austin had mentioned a couple times that he thought she was in something to do with poker because she kept asking for poker cards. So I know I did hear him mention that a few times. But I was just wondering if anyone else had like speculated of that she was a poker dealer or anything.
No, not that I heard of.
I also do want to get to another question real quick. I want to ask this. Revamped World asked on Twitter, how many seasons of Big Brother have you watched, and what was your favorite season?
You know what? My favorite season was actually the last season. I actually thought that it was very dynamic. I loved the different types of people on there. I actually loved Frankie. I know a lot of people are probably gonna hate me for saying that. I thought he was hilarious. But
I'm just kidding.
Yeah. No, I thought Frankie was great. Obviously, how can you not like Zach? Like, he was amazing. But as far as how many seasons, I've only watched about 4 or 5 like complete seasons, and then scattered with my mom. I watched a lot of the beginning seasons when I was younger. Do I remember them? Not really.
Gotcha. I was very interested to know that. It was very good.
And we want to know, like before we sign off and stuff, is there anything that you want to clarify to the public that you can use this platform and just clarify anything?
The only thing I want to say is, everyone's got to remember that when you're playing the game of Big Brother, it's a reality show. So some of the things that are said on there are, of course, going to be taken out of context. I'm a great guy. And other than that, any kind of, obviously the rumor with Liz is completely untrue, and I'm appalled to even be thought of in that light. So that's really it.
We just wanted to give you that space just to address anything, because if this blows up, which it probably won't, but just saying, like, if a lot of people wind up watching this video, I just want your name to be cleared.
Oh, for sure.
You have a place to, state it, and you're welcome here anytime with us to talk Big Brother.
Oh, and the last thing is, I have been getting a lot of heat on this. I never once treated the women improperly in the house. Like, I left there and everyone loved me. I keep getting this backlash, like, oh, Jeff's a sexist. It's not even like that. A lot of things I'd say.
I was going to mention that earlier. I decided not to, but I personally did not find, like, anything you did wrong. But I know a lot of people were tweeting us, and I started getting annoyed with it because I was like, he's not doing anything. Like, these people have to entertain themselves. They have nothing to do 24/7. They have to entertain themselves.
Exactly. So a lot of my guys, just like to kind of, fill you in on that, take it for its satirical sense. A lot of us were making a lot of jokes in there. It was just humor. I know things get taken out of context, but, like you guys said, you get bored in there and you have, conversations that people could take the wrong way.
And honestly, these are the conversations that everybody has behind closed doors.
Right.
And we said it from the get-go when we started the show that like there's people out there that are looking to take something that you say, like I always say this example, I could say I like Chinese food and somebody hear me say Chinese and they think that I don't like Chinese people.
Exactly. It's like,
and that's just the thing, like, and I do not like that at all. And I just like to address that with people, that those people that are out there that are just looking to nitpick, like, cut it the fuck off, honestly.
yeah, exactly, man. And I couldn't agree anymore.
So,
at the end of the day, it is just a TV show. Y'all are real life human beings. Like, we can feel bad for y'all even if we don't like your gameplay. Like, that is possible, people.
Yeah.
it is.
Like, for sure, it is possible.
It is. Anything else anybody want to throw out there?
No, I'm.
All good? Awesome.
Yeah.
Jeff, we really appreciate you being on. Just before we go, do you want to just remind people where they can find you? And guys, while you're watching, everything will be down in the description below where you can find Jeff.
Yes, guys, on Twitter, please follow me, Jeff Weldon 21. Instagram is JD Weldon. And actually, one thing I do want to say is, I would say in about a month or two, I'm doing I'm fundraising right now for a charity called Give Kids the World. It's in Orlando, Florida. I live here in Tampa, so it's about an hour and a half away. It's an amazing charity that gives back to kids with life-threatening illnesses. And I'm trying to get $500 together, guys. Like, please, if you can find it in your hearts to help kids out and help for a great cause, I have a link on my Twitter right now that is directed to it. So please, if you can even donate $1, that'd be awesome.
We'll get details from you and we'll tweet it out.
Perfect.
All right. Rachel, did you want to say something?
No, I said for sure. We're definitely
going to. Yes. Again, thank you, Jeff, for coming out and being here and talking with us. Like we said, you're welcome anytime to talk Big Brother and everything. We really appreciate it. And guys, this is our first interview. Thank you, Jeff, again. I'm your co-host, Nick.
And I'm your co-host, Rachel.
And this has been the Unfiltered Feedsters first interview. And you can find all our information down below in the description, as well as Jeff's information. Thank you guys for watching. See you next time.
Rachel, Nick, thanks for having me, guys.
Oh, no problem. And before we do leave off, because you guys are going to watch this Friday night, Rachel and I did a spur-of-the-moment thing. Saturday night at 8 p.m., we're going to be live. We were going to record a show and put it up, but you know what? Saturday night, we're going to be live, and we're going to talk about this whole fucking week and how fucking crazy it's been.
And
we
how
got a lot of shit.
Barricaded herself.
Yes, and how she sang a one-woman musical. Listen, people, it's going to be fucking awesome. Just watch.
Let's go.
Do things, okay? Yes, we'll see you guys. Goodbye.